Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the feature race at Woodbine on Sunday. It's the Grade 3 Seagram Cup. We're going a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta surface. Let's take a look at this field. Artie's Storm, the number 6, Mike, gets back to his preferred surface. They tried him sprinting on turf last time out. He caught a fast and hot horse from the Cassie barn. This is what he wants to do, stretching out at a mile and a 16th on Tapeta.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I sort of get where they were going with this horse, moving him back to turf last time. He has run well on turf in the past. It just didn't work out for him last time. This is a better spot for this horse.
There should be a solid pace on in this year's Seagram Cup as we throw up the Timeform US pace projector. The 5 Clayton is stretching out in distance. Tap It to Win is also stretching out. Both of these horses have shown tactical speed in shorter distance races. Frosted Over is more of a stalker type. Carrothers as well. I'm curious to see where the 3 Haddassah is going to be placed because he showed big speed on turf last time.
Yeah, it's the first time really that they showed, real speed with this horse. He ran really well to win that race. A nice step forward for him, but I don't think he needs to be on the lead to be effective. And I would be shocked if he was on the lead in this race.
A horse taking a big step up in class, but hoping for a fast pace up front is the number 1 Cash Dividend. Let's watch his last race. It was an allowance performance on July the 23rd. He's going to get up for second in here. The pace was just not fast, and it worked against this horse. They went 26-1, 51-2. He tried his best and finished a good second. It's just that he's taking a huge step up in class.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really nice horse, very consistent, shows up and runs every single time, can get the right trip in this race too, but he's not really a stakes horse, and he's facing some legit stakes rivals in this spot. He also seems to be, maybe a little better going shorter than this.
The 2 is War Bomber, who was claimed for $25,000 last summer at Woodbine, immediately became a stakes winner on the turf in the Toronto Cup. He's had 2 races to kind of warm himself up this year, both on the synthetic, and he's getting slightly better. He was on the lead last time out in the race we just showed you. It was disappointing that he didn't finish better considering the pace. I think they'll take him off at this time.
Yeah, I think they will too. We'll see if it makes a difference. I'm, sort of just waiting for them to come back to turf with this horse, though, Dan. It feels like that's his preferred surface. He was really good on turf last year, and since they took him to New York to try the Hill Prince, he hasn't been on turf since then. I'm going to wait for them to put him back on that surface, but at 10-1, I'm not going to argue with anyone who thinks he'll rebound here.
The 3 Haddassah is very versatile. He has won on dirt. He has won on synthetic. He has won on turf. He won the second jewel of Canada's Triple Crown last year, the Prince of Wales on dirt at Fort Erie. He has won from off the pace, and he's won from on the lead, as he did last time out, going a 1-turn 9 furlongs over the E.P. Taylor turf course. And I like the tactics they used. They sent him. They said, catch me if you can. They couldn't catch him. It was his best race from a buyer standpoint by far.
Yeah, it seems like a horse he was good as a 3-year-old. It feels like he's improved as a 4-year-old. The surface switch is not supposed to be a big deal for him. They don't have to ride him as aggressively in this spot as they did in winning the race we're watching right now. He can, he's not going to be that far away from the pace then. It doesn't need to be on it. This horse could take another step forward here.
As with Artie's Storm, the morning line favorite, the number 4, Frosted Over, might be dirtied up by running on the wrong surface last time out. They tried turf for the first time in the Niagara. He was 4-1 that day. Didn't have the greatest trip. He also didn't run. He is better on synthetic. His Dominion Day 2 starts back was a very good effort.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he's the horse to beat in here. Coming back to the right surface, he's got a great handy running style. So if they go fast in front of him, it's not going to affect him. If they back it down a little bit, it's not going to affect him. To me, he's the horse to beat.
Clayton sort of lost his way last year. He was in really good form for a while. He won the plate trial. He was 3rd in the Queen's Plate. He was 2nd in the Prince of Wales. And maybe it was just a little bit too much too soon. It was interesting that they cut him all the way back sprinting after running in the 3rd jewel of the Triple Crown. The Breeders going a 1.5 miles. He showed some ability there. I think he needed his last race. He's a wake-up candidate.
Yeah, he is. We'll see what he can do if he has anything left. This is a race where he can be really competitive. He was obviously a really, really good 3-year-old, Dan. He never got anything started last year as a 4-year-old. 2 starts. He ran well in both of them, but then he went away again for a long time. He probably needed that last race off the layoff.
This is his distance, Artie's Storm. 3 for 3 at a 1.16 miles. He won the Eclipse in his seasonal debut over course and distance. In the Dominion Day, Frosted Over was too good for him. Maybe 1.125 miles was a little far for Artie's Storm. But other than that, I really couldn't see the excuse. Just thought Frosted Over was better that day.
I did too. I do think that the mile and 1/8 is probably too far for this horse. But at the same time, Frosted Over did run a much better race than he did. I like this shorter distance for him. He's another horse who has the right running style for this race. When he beat Frosted Over in the Eclipse back in May, he got a perfect trip that day and got the job done, and he could get another one here.
Ken Sweezy sends out the 7 Carrothers, a horse that began his career overseas as an all-weather specialist. He came to the States for Bill Mott. They ran him on turf. They ran him on dirt. He never could find that form. Sweezy ran him on the Tapeta at Gulfstream. Well, he found his form last time out. Career best 91 Beyer speed figure. He showed tactical speed in a race where there really wasn't much pace, and he was able to sprint on home. It'll be interesting to see if he can get that Beyer again in a situation where the pace might be faster.
Yeah, he's going to need to run at least that fast to beat this field. And it's just such a huge step up in class that I didn't really want him. I get that this is his surface. This is what he wants to do. He's better on the all-weather surfaces. So maybe he'll take another step forward here. I think he has to.
Special Forces, third in this race last year, is a very honest horse, especially if the pace is fast. I do wonder if he's getting a little bit long in the tooth at the age of 7. He's had 2 tries now this year. The Eclipse and the Dominion Day, a little bit better last time out, but he's going to have to show more.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too. Sorry to say it. He's been a good horse for a really long time. I think he's lost a little bit off his fastball, though. I'm hoping he can regain his form here and be competitive, but boy, I don't really like either of his last 2 starts.
Tap It to Win completes the field. He won this race last year, but last year he was just the beneficiary of race flow. He got to the lead. He backed down the fractions. And when you give Tap It to Win a candy situation, he looks good. It just doesn't happen very often for him. But his last race, the Highlander, 6 furlongs on turf, in too tough, a little bit too sharp for him. Maybe middle distance is going to wake him up. But again, this is a much different pace scenario than last year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I do like them stretching him back out because I don't think he's really quick enough to be a top sprinter. But he's not going to get loose on the lead in here. I've just never really liked this horse, Dan. I get that he has races that would make him really tough in this race. I would want way more than the 9-2 morning line if I was going to talk myself into him.
As usual, wide open race at Woodbine. They have a sensational stakes program, good betting races. Let's go with our top pick in here. We agree with Haddassah. The last race was his best, I thought, and I think they utilized the right running style for him. Now, whether he gets that trip or not, I'm not sure in this spot as he switches surfaces, but he's shown a lot of versatility in his career, and I think the 8-1 is a fair price on the morning line.
Yeah, that more than anything else, that's why I took him. I think he is going to be a fair price in here. And again, I thought he was a really good 3-year-old. And I think he's got a chance to be even better at 4. And it seems like he's trending that way. His last 2 races are both pretty good.
3465 for Mike, 3786 for me. It's the Seagram Cup at Woodbine on Sunday. Good luck.